So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Moon Rahu conjunction in the 8th house. As in, what happens when Moon Rahu are conjunct in the 8th house of your birth chart. And as always, if you do not know, if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, along with all your astrological details, for that, check out the links here, KRSastrology.com, where you'll find my books, reports, consultations, and link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy, where I'm currently teaching actually Nandinari course, one of the most beautiful forms of astrology. It's the first form of astrology you should all learn. You may not even go for Vedic, but it's always good to kind of like blend in the both with your brain. So anyway, 8th house. 8th house is what? 8th house is transformation, change. Okay. 8th house represents rebirth. 8th house represents wills and estates, joint assets, taxes, spouse's family, occult, mysticism, research, development. See, development is something, you're developing something, right? You're a scientist, you're a tech company. Are you going to be doing it out in the open so your competitors can see? No. You're going to do it in hiding, like Apple did it with iPhone. Imagine if they announced the iPhone back in 2004 or 5. Oh yeah, we're working on this phone and it does this, this, and this, and you can do this, this, and this. Boom. Every single big major company will be trying to develop that. So this is why everything that happens in hiding, which is development, is the 8th house. So you have Moon and Rahu here. Okay. The first thing you will see with Moon and Rahu, it naturally brings phobia and fears. You will see, especially if this Moon and Rahu are there, these people will always have afraid of darkness, afraid of depth. I forgot the phobia because I even have that phobia, but I don't have this combination, is seeing the depth in the water. Like when I used to go to swimming pool, which had like 12 feet back in my high school, so 3 feet, and when you put your head in the water, you could just see that darkness and vastness. Brought this fear. You know, this is why I don't like seeing things in the ocean. I mean, my God, you couldn't pay me $1 billion to go see the Titanic. Okay, because we all saw what happened. I mean, it's absolute fear of mine. But that phobia and fear is there. Fear of naturally, hypochondriac. People always think something's wrong because they're always afraid of death. That fear is there. Why? Because the combination is there. Mother is the moon and Rahu is fear. And remember, mostly it's unnecessary fear. Because once you let it go, once I started swimming, I learned swimming. Now still I can go to like even probably I would say 15, 18 feet depth. I'll be okay if I know other people are around. But it's just that it's that fear that you have to overcome. Because Rahu is smoke and mirrors. It shows you, oh, this is very dangerous. But once you go in, you're like, okay, this was really nothing. Some people have like fear of the government. And then one thing you will see is that with Moon Rahu, such people, either at the age of 28 or 18, have very unusual experiences in their life, including even 40, 30 year. Very unusual experiences, out of this world experiences. At the same time, you will see suddenly, mother had to move. Mother had to go to foreign lands. Now, does that mean you all went to foreign lands? Yes. But the step happened suddenly. Mother and the family had to leave. Like you will see, there's, especially with mother's lineage, you know how, let's say your mother was born in Mumbai, but naturally the entire family, her roots are in Orissa. The way that transition happened didn't happen like, well, let's see, I'm looking for a job, I'll get a job and I'll go to Mumbai, and then the grandfather came with the family and now the whole generation is now in Mumbai. No, it was like boom, within a week or two or a month, we just have to leave. And they left. So there's like this sudden movement that occurs. But also, the thing is, mother had to deal with tremendous amount of an anxiety, panic attacks. Again, panic attack, when you get a panic attack or an anxiety, like for example, when I dealt with anxiety, for example, they're sending me to a dean's office in high school. Yeah, I wasn't one of those nice Indian kids in the US. Definitely, I would admit I was a troublemaker to a certain extent. So whenever I had to go see a dean, it was like this panic, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Now that panic is real. Like, what if they give me a suspension? What if, usually I ended up getting a Saturday school. But here, that panic attacks is like unnecessary fear, like something is going to happen. So now you're creating this big illusion of what could be. What could be. And this is what these people have to overcome. Usually, if you're in India, you must, and especially I'll say, if let's say this is in fire signs, go to a Durga Temple which is on a mountaintop or hill. If it's in water, go to a Durga Temple that is near a body of water. If it's in air signs, go to a Durga Temple which has a very vast panoramic view and it's built on a flat land, and especially if that particular space has a lot of wind. Visit that with your mother, or you visit it. You will see how this particular conjunction, and maybe I'm becoming a catalyst now for this yoga to become alive in your chart, because Moon Rahu conjunction in the 8th shows Bhagya Uday occurs when you visit Durga Temple. Now think about the logic. Okay, Moon is travel. Moon is also mother. Rahu is Durga. 8th house. What happens when the event occurs? Any event of the 8th house occurs. The next house is the 9th house, which is of fortune, luck, bhagya. So when you visit that particular temple, the bhagya occurs. But also with Moon Rahu, paternal grandfather would have been badly cheated in his life, where he could have lost most of his wealth due to some very heavy expense. And especially on the mother, the stress of heavy expense occurs, but it's self-inflicted. Self-inflicted heavy expense comes in, meaning whether it's mother, father, whatever, people are people. Some people like to just buy extravagant things and wanting to have certain things that may not be necessary. The want comes first and the need comes backwards. Okay. In this case, we're talking about Moon Rahu. And so one thing you will see for the mother would be extravagant. For this individual, they can get into a habit of gambling, especially stock market. Is that look at the 410 axis from the moon. That's what you're going to love doing. So when moon is in the 8th, 410 axis becomes the 11th and 5th house. Gains, profits, and speculation. Rahu is putting extravagant expansion on it. The person who always wants to go from nothing to everything in a short time. This is what happens with this. That's the mistake you can make. And of course, if there are other planets, then you may do it with the wrong means. So avoid that, please. You hear about scam artists around the world that they were doing some pyramid scheme. They were, taking their clients' money as a financial advisor, and then boom, boom, boom. Kind of like it becomes next to like Bernie Madoff. So you want to avoid that, but also the thing is there's a strong hint that one could be cheated with some financial scams. So always be careful whenever you hear things on social media, especially with crypto, because Rahu is crypto. You better be knowing what you're doing. You better take classes first before. Don't worry about something going 100, 200x. There'll be more coins coming in. They'll give you 500x. Learn it first. And I'm actually speaking this from experience in the last 2 years of the reading of people that I've done. That 410x and the involvement of Rahu was very, very strong. Where they get so sucked into that, okay, I can put 100 rupees and suddenly make a $2 million from it. Yeah. Those are lotteries and those are sales gimmick, because you'll hear somebody did that, but it's actually probably the person who created the coin, or they're using a back-end source to make it look like they're just a normal person who became that. So you have to be very careful. Think 10 times before you get into, any kind of like big investment, and especially with Moon Rahu in the 8th. Don't be like, okay, let me take all my saving and dump it into this particular investment. Because you heard somebody else who did everything. Oh, they put like for example, like Michael Moore. I'm making a documentary, right? Michael Moore, the famous documentary filmmaker, he mortgages his house to make Bowling for Columbine. If the other person does that, they may just lose all their money. I don't know Michael Moore's chart, but I'm sure his 8th house was very strong, where he could gamble and take chances with that. Now, of course, if you have other planetary placements in conjunction, that will alter that for sure. But if you have just these two, then you have to be very careful. Okay? And then Moon Rahu can give extraordinary intelligence related to occult. Whether it's astrology, numerology, tarot, especially tarot. You can have a person like tarot will just speak to you. Before you even touch the card, you'll know which card you're going to pick up. I have seen this happen. Not in terms of this combination, but I've seen this happen where the person, before I even picked up, they're like, this is the card. I'm like, and I looked at that. And then I was about to pick the next one. Oh, this. I've seen these things. So anyway, this was my analysis of Moon Rahu conjunction. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know everything about your own chart, you can check out the links here, KRSastrology.com, where you'll find all the links and everything. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.